Hi, Tony DeWitt here, a Missouri appellate attorney, and I try to make the law make sense here on YouTube. So this morning we're going to talk about something that I've had some questions about, which is specifically the impact of infidelity in a divorce. I'll have more on that in just a moment. Someone once said that absence makes the heart grow fonder, usually for someone else. Unfortunately, this is often true in American life, and like feces, infidelity happens. I could go into a long dissertation on the causes of marital infidelity, but I think at the top of the list is that people stop talking. They stop dealing with one another one-on-one, individually. They just basically lose interest in each other. And the more interest they lose, the easier it is for someone outside of the marriage to have some interest in that person. And that's where you get into trouble with infidelity. Another marital cause of infidelity is just that people change. Someone once said that men marry women because of the way they are and are upset when they change, and women marry men to change them into the men that they want to be. As you can see, in a situation like that in a marriage, that could produce some real discord. And then finally, sometimes people just develop physical limitations. They injure themselves or they develop a chronic disease and they simply can't do the things that they used to do. And I'll let your imagination run wild with regard to what I'm talking about there. But whatever the cause, infidelity does occur, and when it does, it creates a problem for the couple. Now, usually there's several different ways you can deal with that. A lot of times you can go to a marriage counselor and work on that issue and try and get that issue worked out. And start rebuilding trust again inside a marital relationship if you decide that you want to stay married. But unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, most people, probably better than 80%, decide that it's better to go ahead and basically break the union and become free and independent people again. And when they do, that's where divorce comes in. The problem becomes, what is the impact of infidelity in divorce? Well, infidelity is a bad thing. There's no question about that. But this is no longer the 1950s. The husband is not going to be hit over the head with a brick bat because because he cheated on his wife. And the woman is not going to be referred to as a scorned, as a fallen woman because she slept with another person. The fact of the matter is, judges all recognize that people are human. And because people are human, they make human mistakes. And they do things that are sometimes not in their best interest. And that's what infidelity is. It's an action that's not in your best interest. It's never in your best interest. If you are attracted to someone else and you decide that it's time to sleep with someone else outside the marriage, well then, the best thing for you to do is file for divorce and get that divorce before you do that. But putting that aside, what is the impact of infidelity on a divorce proceeding? Well, that's like asking how 1,000 people are going to answer the same question on an issue of opinion. Was Donald Trump a good president? You're going to get all kinds of different answers on that, ranging from good to bad. And the answer is going to depend a lot on your personal views. And the fact of the matter is that views change, and particularly views with regard to infidelity. While it used to be considered just the sine qua non of terrible conduct in a marriage, it has now become so commonplace that judges go, And that's true. They do. They don't put a lot of stock in that. And while that may have some impact on the distribution of assets in some states between husband and wife, In most cases, it just is a reason to disable the union. And so for that reason, I don't think it has nearly as much impact as most people believe that it does. And in fact, I think you probably do better for yourself if you simply ignore the fact of infidelity and proceed with a divorce because you are no longer capable of having a solid union, and that the union needs to be dissolved as a result of that. There's a good reason to do that, and that's because judges see people every day who don't act like adults. In fact, it is not uncommon for fistfights to break out in divorce court. Often these fistfights are between the husband, or the soon-to-be ex-husband, and the boyfriend of the wife, or the exact opposite of that, the wife and the now girlfriend of the soon-to-be ex-husband. It doesn't really matter which group of people it is. The fact of the matter is that fistfights in courtrooms are not a good thing. Acting like an adult, simply realizing that this was a mistake, someone made it, and that you're not going to take them out and put them in the stocks in the public square for 6 months because of it, is a good thing. Judges will appreciate that. They will appreciate you acting rationally and like an adult, and in your best interest. Now, in a little bit, in another video here shortly, we'll get into child custody and what I think about that. But here's the bottom line with regard to divorce and infidelity. Infidelity happens. Forget it, forgive, and move on. It's okay if you decide you want to get divorced. That's a rational response to a bad situation. But it is not the end of the world, and living well truly is the best revenge. Going and finding somebody else, although probably not right away, but going and living your life and living the best life you can have is a much better response to infidelity than is, getting violent or deciding that you want the judge to really punish your soon-to-be ex-spouse for their misbehavior. So that's my take on divorce and infidelity. If you found this interesting or helpful, I'd appreciate it if you'd put some comments down below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. Hit the subscribe icon and you'll see 3 bells. Tap the top bell and you'll get a notification every time we release a video. Also, if you haven't already, please smash the like button for me. It doesn't cost you anything and it makes you feel good all over. Plus, it alerts the YouTube algorithm that this is useful content and that people will benefit from it. So if you want to help out your friends and neighbors, your colleagues, and other people who might find this interesting, please feel free to smash that like button for me. Thank you for watching and have a terrific day.